It started with a weird buzzing on my phone. Just a little notification I'd never seen before. An unknown AirTag is moving with you. I figured it was a glitch. Maybe someone nearby had dropped theirs. I ignored it. But the next day, it popped up again. Then again on day 3. Always after work. Always when I was alone. So I finally checked. Got down on my hands and knees in the parking garage, flashlight in hand. And there it was. An AirTag. Glued under my bumper. Industrial adhesive. Not something that just fell there. I pulled it off. Peeled off the sticky pad. There was a folded note taped underneath it. Childlike handwriting. Purple ink. Blocky letters that looked like they were written by a kindergartner, or someone pretending to be one. You almost saw me last week. I won't make that mistake again. That's when I called the cops. They said it wasn't illegal to be creepy. AirTags are used all the time for tracking lost items. Probably a prank, they said. Filed a report and shrugged. I wasn't okay. I asked Apple how long the tag had been tracking me. 17 days, I thought back. 3 Thursdays ago, I'd gotten out of the shower and swore I saw someone across the street just past the tree line, watching. But they were gone before I got a second look. I told myself it was nothing. I don't tell myself that anymore. That night, I locked all my windows, pulled the blinds, barricaded the door with a chair, but I still couldn't sleep. Every creak felt louder. Every gust of wind against the building made me sit up straight. I woke up to another notification. An unknown AirTag is moving with you. I tore the car apart. Nothing. Checked my purse, my jacket, my backpack, my shoe. Tucked under the insole was another AirTag, with another note. You should check your fridge. I ran to the kitchen, opened the door. Everything looked normal, until I saw the apple juice. I don't buy apple juice. Lifted the carton, it was warm, empty, heavy. Inside, folded tight, was a photo. Me, walking to my car, taken from behind. And behind me, if you looked close enough, was a silhouette, in the trees, face obscured, hands in pockets, watching. I threw up in the sink. Then I left. Grabbed my keys, wallet, ran to the car. I drove to a motel an hour away. Didn't check in under my name. Left my phone in the glove box, paid in cash. But when I opened the nightstand drawer, there was another note. Same purple ink, same handwriting. That was a long drive. You left the lights on. I ran outside. My car headlights were blinking. On, office like Morse code. I drove to a police station, demanded help. This time they took it seriously. Pulled the motel's security footage. No one entered my room. No one left the note. No one touched my car. They said the footage had been edited, that someone knew how to scrub frames, and I believed them. Because the next day, I checked my bank account. There was a charge from Purple Apple Juice, LLC. $3.99. No location, no address, just a receipt. Thanks for playing. I haven't used that card since. Haven't slept properly either. I keep moving. Different motels, no routine, no patterns, no more phones, no online accounts. But 2 nights ago, I opened my duffel bag and found a children's drawing tucked between my shirts. Stick figures, one tall, one small. The tall one holding binoculars. The small one? Me, in a red circle, smiling, and underneath it, in perfect purple crayon. You see me now. That was the moment I stopped running and started hunting. I got a burner laptop. Tapped into forums where people share stalking stories, AirTag exploits, facial recognition hacks. Dug into metadata from the photos I found, scrubbed receipts, analyzed timestamps. One name kept popping up in weird places. A Shell LLC from Nebraska, then Georgia, then Florida. Always with the same structure, same transactions, no humans attached. But one site let something slip. A username tied to an encrypted IP, connected to a Reddit post from 7 years ago. It read, "If you found this, it means you're interesting. Don't ruin it by being boring." The post had 53 hidden comments, all deleted, except one. A username, PurpleWatcher17. I don't know how, but I'm certain it's him. Last night I found another drawing, slipped under the motel door. Same paper, same ink, same blocky letters. Your motel neighbor snores too loud. Want me to make it stop? I knocked on the neighbor's door, just to check. No answer. I told the front desk. They checked. Room was empty, completely clean. No signs anyone had ever been inside. And the registry said no one had checked in next door for the last 2 nights. Just me, alone, with someone who always knows where I'll be, before even I do. I always lock my car, always. But that night, I was distracted, rain pouring, groceries soaking, fumbling for my keys while trying not to slip in the lot behind my building. I hit unlock, tossed the bags in the back, slid into the driver's seat, and started the engine. Didn't notice anything at first. Just the thrum of the rain, the AC whirring, my breath fogging up the window. Then I adjusted the rearview mirror. And he was there, in the back seat, staring at me, smiling. No words, no movement, just eyes locked on mine through the reflection. I froze. Every muscle in my body locked up. The car was still in park. My brain screamed to move, to run, to do something, but my hands wouldn't listen. Then he leaned forward, slowly, until his face was inches from the back of my headrest, and whispered, "Drive." I almost threw up. Instead, I nodded, put the car in drive, and pulled out of the lot. He didn't give directions, didn't need to. It was like he knew where I was going before I did. When I hesitated at a stoplight, he whispered again, "Left." I turned, mouth dry, pulse in my ears. We drove like that for 20 minutes, through streets I didn't recognize, past neighborhoods I didn't know. The city faded behind us. Streetlights grew sparse, trees lined the roads. No houses, no signs, just forest and blacktop and his eyes in the mirror. Finally he said, "Pull over." There was a clearing off the road. No lights, no sounds but the engine. He leaned back. I didn't move, didn't speak. Then he chuckled, low and sharp. "You never check the back seat." I swallowed hard. "What do you want?" He didn't answer, just leaned down and tapped something against the seat beside me. A Polaroid photo of me, taken from behind, inside my car. From this seat, this angle. Same clothes, same groceries in the back. Only difference? The timestamp read 2 days ago. "I was here before," he said. I asked why. He tilted his head. "Because you don't look. Because no one does. You just get in. Drive. Like you're safe." He held out another photo. My apartment. The door slightly ajar. Inside, barely visible, me, asleep on the couch. "I've been practicing," he whispered, "making an entrance." I tried to open the door. It didn't budge. Child lock. He'd turned it on. I reached for my phone. Gone. Then I saw it. His hand holding it, just behind my shoulder. He smiled again and handed it back. I unlocked the door and ran. Didn't look back. Just sprinted into the woods, branches slapping my face, lungs burning. Eventually, I found a road. Flagged down a trucker. He called the cops. By the time they got there, my car was gone. No trace of him. No photos, no prints. Just a single Polaroid on the ground where the car had been. Me. Running into the woods. From behind. Taken that night. Taken seconds before I turned around. They never found him. For weeks I stayed with my sister. Cops checked my place. Put a camera at the entrance. Nothing. No more photos, no more messages. Until last night. I moved back into my apartment. Eventually. Told myself it was over. That he got bored. Moved on. That I was just another game piece he retired. But last night, I made a mistake. It was late. Raining again. I ran out for groceries. Same lot. Same spot. I remembered. I checked the back seat. Nothing. I laughed at myself. Called it progress. But when I got home, my groceries were already on the kitchen table. Arranged. Neatly. Like someone had unpacked them for me. And there was a note beside the milk. "See? I'm better at this than you." I spun around. Checked every closet. Every cabinet. Nothing. Then I checked my phone. There was a new album in my camera roll, one I didn't make. 47 photos, all taken from inside my apartment. Me, brushing my teeth, sleeping, watching TV. The last one? Me standing in the kitchen, reading the note. From his perspective, over my shoulder. I don't sleep now. I check every room, every closet, every door. I thought about moving again. New state, new name. But I know it won't matter. This morning I opened the fridge. Behind the eggs was a folded napkin, purple ink, blocky letters. You can lock the doors. I learned to wait. And on the back, a list. Addresses, dates, times. Not just mine, my sister's, my niece's school, my old roommate's new place. He knows everything. I called the police again. They say it's all circumstantial, photos, notes, no actual crimes. They don't know he's playing a longer game. They don't know what it means when someone's patient enough to watch. He's not gone. He's perfecting his re-entry. And every time I get in my car, I still check the back seat. But now I think he wants me to. Because someday, the real trick won't be getting in. It'll be figuring out when he never left. She sat 2 stools down from me at the bar. Red dress, gold hoops, dark curls she kept twirling around one finger while she laughed at the bartender's jokes. I'd had a long week and wasn't looking to flirt, but then she looked at me, held it, smiled. "Rough day?" she asked. I nodded, gave a vague response about work. She ordered us both a drink before I even said what I liked. Said her name was Nora. Said she just moved into the area. Her voice was calm, like she already knew how the conversation would go. She asked about me, my building, my job. I kept things light, no details. She laughed a lot, told me I was cute when I got nervous. Then, near closing time, I offered to walk her to her Uber. Instead, she asked if she could come up. It caught me off guard. I hesitated. She leaned in and whispered, 4, 3, 7, 8, right? I blinked. That was my apartment code. I never told her, never posted it anywhere. I stepped back and asked, "How did you know that?" She just smiled. "You really should close your blinds when you come home." My stomach dropped. I lived on the 2nd floor, across from another building. Only one of the windows in my unit faced that way, above the sink. I kept it open sometimes. Cracked. But the blinds? Yeah, I'd been lazy. Left them tilted. She could have seen me punching in the code, could have memorized it. But why? I told her that wasn't funny. She shrugged. "Then don't laugh." She turned and walked out of the bar. I didn't sleep that night. I moved a chair in front of the door, kept the lights on. Nothing happened. The next morning, I installed a chain lock, changed the code, closed the blinds. A week passed. Then I found something in the hallway outside my door. A lipstick stain on the wall, smudged in the shape of a kiss, right beside the keypad. There was a note tucked under my doormat, typed, centered. "I liked you better at 4378. I called building management, asked if the security cameras caught anything. They said the cameras on my floor had been offline for maintenance for 3 days. I asked them to check the lobby, the elevators. They called back and said, no one matching that description entered the building. I tried to shake it off. Tried to believe she was messing with me. That it was just a one-off encounter with someone too clever for her own good. Then, 2 nights later, I woke up to music. Software coming from the kitchen. I don't have a speaker in the kitchen. I got up, slowly, and found my phone unlocked on the counter. Spotify open. Song playing on repeat. I'll be seeing you. The cue said it had been looping for 3 hours. There was a second glass on the table, next to mine, still wet. Lipstick stain on the rim. Same color as that night at the bar. My door was locked. Chain undisturbed. Blinds shut. But I checked the window above the sink. And on the outside glass, a fingerprint. Right in the middle. Pressed flat. Like someone watched, stayed, tried to come in. The next day, I moved. Didn't wait for lease approval. Didn't pack much. Just grabbed essentials and went. New place, new keypad, top floor, No opposite building. No windows near the door. A week passed. No sign of her. Then one morning I got a letter. No stamp, no address. Inside, a Polaroid of me, sleeping, taken from the foot of my bed. Beside me, a folded note. I know the code. That night I heard a whisper through the wall, just one word. Closer. I didn't sleep, didn't move. But in the silence I realized something. There's no apartment next to mine, just a supply closet. But the sound, it wasn't through the wall. It was inside the room. I turned slowly. The blinds were cracked, just an inch, just enough. We broke up over a year ago. It ended badly. Screaming, door slamming, tears. I blocked his number, deleted every message, and moved to a different city. I thought that was the end. But about 3 months ago, I came home and noticed something small. My couch was off by a few inches. Nothing dramatic, just shifted. I figured I bumped it while vacuuming, or maybe I'd moved it without realizing. Then it happened again. The dish rack in the sink was turned around. A kitchen chair pulled slightly out. The bathroom trash can in the middle of the floor instead of against the wall. I live alone. At first I thought I was losing it. Stress, fatigue. I took photos of the rooms before leaving the house, just to reassure myself. Then I started locking the bedroom door at night, just in case. A week later, I woke up and found the bedroom door wide open. The lock wasn't broken. The hinges were intact. And on the floor at the foot of the bed, one of my socks, hanging from the ceiling fan. It hadn't been there the night before. I checked every lock. Window, sealed. Door, locked. Spare key, still in my drawer. But something was wrong. I installed a camera near the front door. Motion activated. Nothing unusual. Then I set one up in the living room. Still nothing. I placed a third in my bedroom, pointed at the door. And that's when I caught him. It was 3:12 a.m. The footage shows the door opening slowly. And my ex, Eric, stepping inside. Not rushing, not nervous, calm, intentional. He walks in like he owns the place, looks around, smiles. Then he moves my chair, just a few inches, straightens a painting on the wall, takes a book off the shelf, flips through it, puts it back. Then he leans in toward the camera, close enough to fog the lens with his breath, and whispers, "Still fits." Then he leaves. Quiet. The door closes behind him. I called the police immediately. They came, watched the footage, took a report. Told me to get a restraining order. I did. Eric never showed up to contest it. The court granted it in 2 minutes flat. But a week later, I found something under my pillow. A receipt, dated 2 days prior, from the hardware store. Items purchased. Door hinge lubricant, window lock picks, 1 key blank. The name on the card used? Eric's. I sent it to the police. They updated the file, said they'd monitor the situation. I started staying at a friend's place, didn't go back for days. But I had to eventually. Needed clothes, work gear. When I walked in, everything looked normal, until I opened the fridge. The butter was upside down, on the top shelf. I never put it there. And in the freezer? A bag of peas arranged in a perfect triangle, and a sticky note stuck to the ice tray. "You're still mine." I moved again. Different neighborhood. New locks, new landlord, security system. This time, I told no one where, not even friends. But then, one morning, I opened the cabinet and found a mug. One I hadn't unpacked yet. At the back of the shelf, with a tea bag inside and a note under it. "You always liked chamomile." The police still couldn't prove how he got in. No prints, no damage, no cameras triggered. The new landlord swore no one else had keys. I changed the locks again, added deadbolts, door jambs. But the rearranging never stopped. Every week something, just slightly off. My bookshelf sorted by height instead of author. Shoes stacked heel first. A spoon in the fork slot. Subtle. But enough to say, I was being watched. And not just watched. Visited. I don't know how he gets in, or how long he stays. But every night before I sleep, I whisper into the dark. I know you're here. And sometimes, the closet door clicks shut. I take the same bus every morning. 7:10 a.m., third seat from the back. Headphones in, coffee in hand. It's routine, safe, predictable. Until the man sat across from me, middle-aged, greasy hair, cheap windbreaker zipped to the neck. I wouldn't have noticed him, except he kept glancing at me, then smiling. Not creepy exactly, but persistent, like someone watching a kid try to guess a card trick. At first, I ignored him. People are weird. Then he leaned forward and said, "Your sister still getting that blueberry muffin in the mornings?" I blinked, took out my headphones. "Excuse me?" He smiled wider. At 7:32, right before she crosses Harrison Street. My heart stopped. I hadn't mentioned my sister to anyone on this route. Hadn't posted about her on social media. She lived 3 states away. There was no way he could have known her schedule. "Do I know you?" He shook his head slowly. "Number. But I know her." I stood up, moved toward the front of the bus, hands shaking. Got off 3 stops early and walked the rest of the way to work. I called my sister as soon as I got to my desk. "Hey, quick question. You've got a routine, right?" She laughed. "Yeah, why? Do you get breakfast before work?" She hesitated. "I mean, yeah, muffin and coffee at 7-Eleven. "What time?" Pause. "Around 7:30. "Why?" I didn't answer. That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, I drove instead of taking the bus. Didn't matter. When I got to my car, there was a sticky note on the windshield. "Driving now? Smart, same handwriting. No envelope. Just stuck there, like a casual hello." I called the police. Filed a report. Showed them the note. Described the man. They said they'd keep an eye out. Took the paper. Said it could be prank-related. That night, another note. Taped to the apartment door. "Her light stays on too late." I moved to a friend's place. Didn't tell anyone where. Told my sister to stay with a friend too. 3 days later, another note. Inside my bag. I don't know how it got there. I don't leave it unattended. I checked the zippers obsessively after that. This one read, "She wears the cloud pajamas." Cute. That's when I cracked. I called my sister again. Told her everything. She didn't laugh. Didn't say I was being dramatic. Just said, "I've seen someone." "What do you mean?" "A man. Standing across the street. Thought I was imagining it. He's always watching." I told her to call the police. She did. They searched the area. Found footprints in the dirt outside her window. Fresh. Perfectly preserved in the soft mud. She moved that night. So did I. No online bookings, no texts, no cards, no patterns. We stayed off-grid. And still. Last night I found a photo under my pillow. Polaroid. My sister. Taken from outside her window. She's laughing, holding her mug, in those same cloud pajamas. Red ink on the back. I like when she smiles. I wanted to scream. I wanted to fight. I wanted to run, but there was nowhere left to go. I checked the windows, doors, every drawer, every crack in the wall, every seam in my bags. Nothing. Then this morning, I woke up to no note, no new Polaroid, no sign of entry. Instead, my sister called. She whispered, "He's inside." I stopped breathing. "Where are you?" "Closet. He's in the living room. Walking. Slow." I muted myself. Dialed 911 on another phone. I told her to stay quiet. Told her help was coming. She started crying. Then muffled. "He's humming." That song. The one Mom used to sing. The dispatcher stayed on the line. Cops were dispatched. They got there fast. Too fast. By the time they arrived, the man was gone. Door still locked from the inside. No sign of forced entry. No footprints this time. No fingerprints. Just a faint indentation on the couch cushion. And a drawing. Same childish scrawl. Purple crayon. 2 stick figures. One in the closet. One outside it, holding a key. Underneath. Tag. You're it. We don't know what to do anymore. We move. We hide. We rotate safe houses like fugitives. But he's always 2 steps ahead. Yesterday, I walked past a group of kids drawing with sidewalk chalk. One of the hopscotch boxes had something scribbled inside. My sister's name, spelled wrong, deliberately, the way she wrote it in 1st grade. I took a photo, showed her. She went pale. Only one person ever called me that. Who? That boy in 3rd grade. He moved. Vanished, actually. No one ever knew what happened to him. That night, a new note was taped to my car window. Thanks for remembering me. We're not dealing with a stranger. We're dealing with someone who's been watching for years. Someone who plays the long game. And now I sleep in shifts. Keep weapons by the bed. My sister and I don't talk on the phone anymore. We just send one-word codes when we move. But I know it won't stop him. Because tonight, I opened the microwave to heat my dinner and found a Polaroid inside. Of both of us. Sleeping. Same bed. Same night, same room, taken from above, and written in faint red ink along the edge. You always look better together. I broke up with Kyle 6 months ago. It got bad near the end. Jealousy, manipulation, the kind of clinginess that felt like slow suffocation. When I finally ended it, he begged, cried, showed up at my job, said he'd wait until I came to my senses. I changed my locks, blocked his number, deleted every account he could contact me through. I haven't seen him since, until last week. I was feeding Max, my golden retriever, when I got a message request on a new number. No text, just a photo of Maximum, lying on the couch in my apartment. The angle was from behind the kitchen island, my usual cooking spot. It had been taken minutes earlier. I looked around. Windows shut, front door locked. Nothing broken, nothing forced. I checked every closet, every inch of the apartment. No one. I took Max and drove to my friend's place for the night. The next day I called the police. They searched, said everything looked normal. No sign of forced entry, nothing stolen. They asked if I'd given anyone a spare key. Only Kyle had one. I'd asked for it back when we broke up. He said he left it on my counter. Now I wasn't so sure. I changed the locks again. Installed a camera in the living room, another facing the door. Started checking them every hour. 2 days later, I got another photo. Max, sleeping. Same couch, same lighting as the night before. This time, the camera footage showed nothing. No one came in, no alerts. Just the dog, the couch, and the picture showing it from inside the room. The next morning, Max was acting strange, barking at the closet, the one in the hallway just outside the bathroom. I opened it. Nothing inside. Except the air was cold, like someone had just been there. I pulled everything out, found a hair tie that wasn't mine, a granola wrapper from a brand I don't eat. I called the police again. They came, didn't find anything. Suggested it could be old trash, or I'd missed it while cleaning. That night, I locked Max in the bedroom with me, tried to sleep. At 3:23 a.m., the motion alert went off. Living room camera. I opened the app. Nothing. Just Max's empty dog bed. Then I checked the hallway cam. The closet door was slightly open. Only problem? I checked it before bed. It had been shut. In the morning, Max's food bowl was full. Overflowing. I hadn't touched it. There was a note beside it. He likes beef more than chicken. Always did. I called Kyle's mom, asked if she knew where he was. She hesitated, then said, "He's been staying with a friend, I think." I asked who. She didn't answer. That evening I got another photo. Me. Sleeping. Taken from inside the bedroom, right next to Max. The caption? "I miss you, but he misses me more." It started with the smell. Musty, damp, a little sour. I deep cleaned the whole apartment, emptied the fridge, took out the trash, scrubbed the bathroom twice. Still there. Then came the missing food. Nothing big, just leftovers gone, snacks disappearing, juice bottles slightly less full. I chalked it up to forgetfulness, stress, until the laundry hamper. I was tossing clothes in when I found it, a used fork, crusted with dried food, wedged between my socks and a t-shirt I hadn't worn in weeks. I don't eat in my bedroom. I don't keep silverware anywhere near the laundry. That's when I stopped sleeping. I set up a camera app on my laptop, pointed it at my bedroom door, hit record each night, watched it back every morning. Nothing. Until night 6. At 3:17 a.m., the door opened. Not from the hallway, from the closet. A man stepped out, barefoot, wearing one of my hoodies. He walked to the kitchen, ate something, and returned. But before he climbed back into the closet, he turned, looked straight at the camera, smiled, then disappeared behind the door. I called the police immediately. They came, searched. The closet was empty. No sign of forced entry, no signs of anyone having been there. But behind the coats, behind a false wall of hanging clothes, they found it. A nest, blanket, pillow, flashlight, water bottles, protein bars, a charging cable, and a notebook. Pages filled with shaky handwriting, notes about my schedule. She brushes teeth at 7:42. Home by 6:13 most nights. Laughs at phone, probably dating again. They took it all as evidence. Changed my locks. Installed motion sensors. Told me to call if anything else happened. I tried to move on, but I couldn't shake it. He'd been living feet from me, breathing while I slept, writing about me, watching. A week later, I opened the fridge and found a note taped to the orange juice. Missed you last night. It was in my handwriting. But I didn't write it. And when I checked the closet again, the nest was back. At first, I thought it was the post office. Envelopes arriving torn open at the corner. Packages looking like someone had peeled the tape and resealed it. I started taking photos, filing complaints. The USPS said it was sorting machine damage. That made sense. For a while. Until I started getting letters I hadn't signed up for. A dog food catalog. I don't have a dog. A coupon for a couple's massage. I'm single. Then came the subscription confirmations. Emails I didn't send. Accounts I didn't make. One was for a wine of the month club. Sent to my full name, my exact address, and a new Gmail I'd never used. I reset my passwords, changed my locks, told myself it was spam. Until the day a package showed up at my door. Already opened. Inside was a GoPro. Used. Battery drained. No note. No return address. I brought it inside, flipped it open and found a micro SD card still inserted. I hesitated. Plugged it into my laptop. There was one folder, titled Home. Inside were 22 video clips, each about a minute long. The first was filmed from inside my living room, the second from the kitchen, the third, my bedroom. All shot at night, all while I was asleep. I didn't recognize the angle at first, but then I saw it. Camera peeking out from between the slats of the closet door, filming me, each night, the same shot, slightly closer each time. I went cold, checked my closet. Nothing. Emptied every drawer, turned over furniture, called the police. They came, took the GoPro, took the footage, told me to stay elsewhere until they sorted things out. So I stayed with my sister. 2 nights later, she woke me up, handed me a package addressed to me, delivered to her house. No one knew I was there. Inside, a note, handwritten. I liked watching you sleep, but you look cuter when you're awake. Underneath it, a new GoPro, with a red sticker that read, Live. It started innocently enough. The barista at the coffee shop down the street was overly friendly. Remembered my order after a few visits. Cold brew, light ice, splash of oat. Then he remembered my name. I never told him. I don't wear a name tag. I never used the app. The first time he said it, "Mornin', Lena," I thought maybe I'd used my card once. Or maybe a friend had said it in passing. I brushed it off. Until one morning he handed me my drink with a wink and said, "Cold brew, oat, light ice. Same as always." Apartment 3B's finest. I stopped, stared at him. My apartment number? Sorry, what? I asked, trying to keep my voice light. He smiled. Just guessing. I laughed awkwardly and left. That night, I checked my mailbox. No mail, but the lock felt different, looser. I chalked it up to paranoia. The next day, he added a cookie to my order, said it was on the house. Then he said, "You forgot to take the trash out this morning." My blood ran cold. I hadn't. I stood there too long. He just smiled, like it was a joke. I switched coffee shops that week. Started going 3 blocks further, even if it made me late. Didn't go back to the old place, but he still found me. 3 days later, there was a to-go cup waiting on the counter at the new shop. Labeled, Lena, cold brew, light ice, oat I hadn't ordered yet. The barista behind the counter looked confused. Said a guy dropped it off and asked them to give it to me. No name, just, he said you'd know. I threw the drink away, started driving to work instead of walking, changed my routine, left at different times, took different exits. It didn't help. I started getting texts from an unknown number. Just updates. You wore red today. Looks good. Your neighbor leaves their light on too late. The plant on your windowsill is dying. I blocked the number. Then I got an envelope in the mail. Inside, a photo. Me, sleeping, taken from outside my bedroom window. I went to the police. They took a report, asked if I had a stalker. I said no, not until now. They said without a threat or break-in, there wasn't much they could do, said they'd patrol the block. That night, I moved the furniture in front of the windows, installed cameras, didn't sleep. The next morning, my camera app said there was no movement overnight, no triggers, no alerts. But on the kitchen counter was a fresh cup of coffee, cold brew, light ice, oat, and a cookie, wrapped in napkin, with a note. Still your favorite. I checked every lock, every window. Nothing forced, no signs of entry. But something had been in my home, watching me, close enough to know the new locks, close enough to leave something without leaving a trace. I packed a bag and drove 2 hours to a friend's place. Stayed there a week, felt safe, until the doorbell rang. A delivery, no return address. Inside the box, a travel mug, engraved with Lena 3B. It was just a quick grocery run, midweek, hair in a bun, hoodie on, headphones in. I wasn't looking to be seen. The guy at checkout scanned my items with the usual monotony. Eggs, almond milk, apples, until he looked up and smiled. "Funny seeing you here, Lily." I blinked. No one had called me that name out loud in months. Not because it's not mine, because Lily is the name I use on my dating profile. Not my real name, not linked to any social media. No photos of my face, just aesthetic stuff. Sunsets, playlists, a coffee mug. I used it for privacy. No one in real life was supposed to know that name, especially not the guy at checkout. "I'm sorry, what?" I asked. He grinned. "You just look a lot like someone I follow." He held up his phone for half a second, just enough for me to glimpse a profile. Mine. I hadn't posted on that account in weeks. He handed me my receipt. "See you around, Lily." I walked out of the store with my heart hammering. The next day, I deleted the app, scrubbed everything, blocked the fake number I'd used. Then, that night, I got a message. No number, just a notification on my phone. "Why'd you ghost me?" There was a photo attached, of my cart from earlier that day, same items, same hoodie, taken from behind. I called the store, asked for the clerk's name. They said no one matching that description worked there, that the self-checkout had been down that day. No one was manning the registers. I checked my receipt. The clerk ID line was blank. I asked if someone could have impersonated an employee. They said no. Said all workers wear badges, uniforms, and check in digitally. I checked the security footage on my apartment building. The lobby cam had been wiped. Just blank footage from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. The time I got home. The next morning, a package was waiting for me. No return address. Inside was a receipt, same as before, except this time every item had a note. Next to apples, it said, "I know you like the green ones." Next to milk, "You're lactose intolerant. Risky choice." Next to eggs, "I saw you hesitate." At the bottom of the receipt, "Thanks for checking me out." I packed a bag and left town for the weekend. No forwarding address, no phone, no credit cards. I stayed in a motel off the highway. Didn't tell anyone where I was. On the second night, I walked into the lobby to ask for extra towels. The clerk looked up and smiled. Same face, same voice. "Need anything else, Lily?"